Good day, good evening, depending on what time you're watching this. Welcome to the Motivational Drive Show, where we bring you great powerhouses, men and women of great impact that are doing great things within our society, within their community, and at the world at large. Now, with me today, I'm a bit nervous, when this gentleman alerted me that he's in my province, I dropped everything that I was doing just to see this gentleman. He's a very great gentleman, Mr. Zwai Qwadikazi, also known as the wealthy one.
Amen.
A very vibrant businessman that raises multi-millionaires. I remember the first day I met you at the seminar, you said you can never meet me and not become a millionaire.
Yes, very true. Very.
And which is very true, because since I've been applying the principles that you taught me, I've been seeing rapid growth within my life.
Wow. Awesome.
And I've got only two people that have taught me small numbers, the power of small numbers. I remember there was a time we sat, and through your calculator, you showed us how with 5 friends you can turn it.
Yes.
Before we knew it, even now, at our meeting, I've been seeing 160 million, $2 billion US dollars from small numbers. So the first question would be, how do you do it? How did you do it to master numbers? Just before you tell them who you are and what do you do? What's your secret of mastering numbers?
Well, Einstein inspired me some years ago when he was asked what is the most powerful law of the universe. He said in answering, second from the law of gravity, the most powerful law is the law of compounding. You compounding your returns in anything is the most powerful law, because whatever you generate begins to generate its own interest. That's number one. Number two, long-term planning. Many people lack in long-term planning, and long-term doesn't mean 100 years. It can be 100 years to you, but it's not as little as 3 to 5 years planning. Immediately you can cultivate a culture of planning 3 to 5 years. You'll be shocked at the amount of wealth you can create through small amounts of money, small contribution. I mean, we have a program we just launched.
Yes, a very great program.
Where we are teaching people to save a minimum of 500 rand a month. In that program, that money grows by averagely 7% per month. And in a very secure environment, with that, growing your 500 rand over 5 years at 7% per month, your 500 grows to be over 435,000 rands.
Then it goes again.
And you look at, when you save 500 per month for 5 years in a normal savings, it's 30,000. But if you save it in a creative way like we do, it becomes 435,000.
Yes.
So there's just a lot you can do with money once you know that smaller amounts of money matter, number one. Number two, you ride on the wave of compounding over a long period of time.
Wow.
I believe you are answered.
No, I'm very much answered. And I don't know what to say anymore. But I remember very well that back then in your early years, you lost over 140 million in business.
Yes.
And then you recovered it in, was it a year, or how many years did it take for you to recover it?
It took me about 2 years.
Okay.
It took me a year just to recoup and recapture myself.
Yes.
After a big impact like that, it takes time. You are even scared to go back into business. But after I recovered, I re-strategized.
Yes.
Actually, I got a very big lesson from that experience.
Yes.
Now I know that life is a series of exams. At school, they teach you every now and then you write exams. They're actually training you to get used to the system of life. Life is all about solving problems. So if you can master that, at school, they were developing an attitude of solving problems. And after every exam at school, there's promotion. They don't give you exams so that they can disqualify you. They check your capacity so that you can be promoted to the next standard. Same as life. Challenges that come to you every single day, they come to test your capacity so that more responsibilities can be added into your life.
Now I would say to realize that obviously you know what happened for you to begin experiencing a downfall and obviously to lose your 140 million? Was it 140 million? Am I correct?
It was over 118 million.
Over 180 million,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Now, what would you say to aspiring entrepreneurs or people that are within the business, that what starts the downfall of a man in business?
You know, your mind is such a powerful resource that God has given you. Your mind can take you to the top and it can also take you to the bottom. And now that I've passed through that storm, when I look back, I realized that challenges came into the business, but fear overwhelmed me, and I began to premeditate the downfall that I ended up going through. You know, I began to be worried of what if this happens, what if this happens, without realizing that as I was thinking and analyzing, I was actually creating it. So people, if they can just know, your moment by moment thinking create your reality. So that very principle that took me down, I noticed it and then I turned it around and began to use the same principle to elevate me again. So now I'm glad that I discovered a very powerful principle of life, that through your mind and your reasoning, you know, we are always reasoning inside ourselves. That conversation, don't take it lightly, because it's what determines whether you are going up or down.
And you once taught me and my best friend training on awareness.
Yes.
Would you elaborate maybe to our viewers? I love that concept on what happens with a human being's awareness.
Yes. You know, a human being is not this body. You are an awareness that is sitting inside your body. That consciousness of what is happening around you, that's who you are. And that awareness is what attracts things into your life and is what repels things from your life. Before you can have any problem in your life, that problem is preceded by you being aware of it, of the possibility of it happening to you. And immediately you trigger that awareness where you are worried. You are unconsciously aligning things outside to begin to bring circumstances that will make sure this problem manifests. That's how powerful we are. So to bring anything into your life, all you need to do is to tune your awareness. Wealth, for instance, it's an awareness. Just like poverty. Poverty is an awareness. So if you want to move from poverty consciousness to wealth consciousness, you don't go running after money. No. You first tune your consciousness to be wealth conscious. As you are seated here, you should be in your mind, you should be conscious of money moving around. You know, you can design your own consciousness, but your consciousness is basically who you are. You are not the body. When you are sick, don't focus on treating the symptom. No. Deal with the root of the symptom, which is the sickness that is sitting on your awareness. So our awareness is what we need to master. We need to master to control. Yesterday I was in Soweto teaching the guys that Proverbs 4:23 says, guard your heart with all diligence. Yes. Because out of your heart
flows the issues of
exactly.
life.
And then last week I was just interested in investigating the word guard. And when I investigate guard, I realized that guard is to keep watch. Meaning the Bible says you must keep watch over yourself. I mean, who has ever told you to watch yourself? So the Bible says, because your heart is yourself. So the Bible says you must actively watch over yourself. The reason people have put themselves in so many troubles is because they are not watching themselves. So your heart, 24 hours a day, you must keep watch over your heart. Because out of your heart flows the issues of life. I just spoke about how challenges come into our lives, how I lost in business. It was because I was not keeping guard over my heart. And one of the powerful lessons I came out with is the ability at all times, as I'm talking to you, I'm guarding my heart with my consciousness. Because I'm aware that if I allow wrong content into my heart, is too expensive.
Yes, and now, now what a wealth of wisdom. You know, I'm always shaking when I'm around you. Now, another thing that I want to know from you is you're so much passionate. I've never seen someone so passionate about alleviating poverty as such as you are.
Wow.
And your mandate, as you were just telling me that right now, that you know what, the era of Mandela took us out of the apartheid era and they put us where we are.
Yes, yes.
But they're not the people that are going to take us out of where we are in terms of the economic. We've got the democratical freedom, but we don't have the economical freedom.
Yes, yes.
So you're so passionate about creating youth multi-millionaires and billionaires, raising giants.
Yes, absolutely.
Why are you so passionate? I mean, I see you every time on your Facebook. You stop and you pray for these people. You give them food and you know, coming out of from such a very beautiful area of yourself, you go into the townships and stop and take your time. You could be making a lot of money. I know your time is very much valuable.
Yes,
but
yes,
why do you take so much of your time out to create other people millionaires and to raise other people economically? Why?
You know, I've learned something very powerful, that to be responsible is to be able to identify a need and appoint yourself to solve the problem. You identify that there's a problem in my community and this is my problem. I think people are missing it. They think their problems will be solved by someone from somewhere. So let's use our country as an example. Prior to the freedom we are having, we used to have apartheid.
Yes.
When the giant of apartheid went down, it was probably 100 years later from the time the first group of people sat around the table wherever they were and decided to form a political party that was to challenge the oppression that black people were. So they did it successfully. It lasted for over 100 years, but they conquered. Challenges of today are no longer challenges of oppression.
Yes.
Are challenges of, among many things, economic empowerment.
Yes.
Meaning, our old leaders cannot be able to take us into this promised land. I'll make an example from the Word of God.
Yes.
The children of Israel were oppressed in Egypt, and God raised a leader to deliver them from oppression. Moses took them out, but he couldn't take them in. God had to raise another leader with a new kind of mentality to help people to occupy their inheritance. So the old way of doing things, old political approach was relevant to deliver us from apartheid. But now we need new political approach to help us to occupy the promised land. And issues of today, youth of today, I believe you are more relevant to understand issues of today. Just like those who formulated ANC many years ago, they were more understanding to the issues at hand at that time. You see, so we need to be aware that we being the youth of today, we are responsible to change the political issues of today. We are responsible to alleviate the poverty we see around us. I think the government have done a lot in putting different funds in different institutions.
Yes.
But the sad part is that most of us don't know how to access that money. And even if you know, lack of trading history is another obstacle. So we have programs we have developed to help our young guys and ladies to be well prepared so that when they approach financial institutions, they can be bankable, you know. So the programs we have started have to do with hawkers and tuck shops. That's a very powerful economy that people are overlooking. I mean, hawkers, if they were united, they will be more powerful than any retail outlet we know, you know. So I won't say much, but there are a lot of programs that we are designing and we are trying to bring youth on board. In my journey working with youth, the only disappointment I'm meeting every now and then is the unseriousness of our youth. People are not aware every single day you are busy approaching your grave. you cannot afford to allow even 1 hour to go to waste, because you cannot redeem that hour again, you know. So many times we bring opportunities, but they're so reluctant. They come 2 days and quit. And then there are those who have made up their minds that they're gonna go all the way. And that's how you succeed in life. Success is not achieving, it's actually deciding. Achievement comes after. Yeah, you when you decide that I'll live in an estate house for 5 million, that decision will begin to make way for you to find yourself there. But people delay decision, and the more you delay decision, you are delaying accomplishment.
You know, I love what you said. Just
Wow.
before you said that at this time that we're living in, political parties are not the solution.
Yes.
Why? Because political parties, why don't they sample what they do
Wow,
before
wow,
they're in
wow.
power? And then
True.
you say that
Wow, wow.
the political parties, they come and say, okay, put me in power and I'll give you bread, I'll give you a house. Why don't they sample it like you are doing? You're creating
Yes.
millionaires through your program.
Yes.
And then,
yes,
you know,
once it has been tested that it's working,
Yes.
then they can appoint those who needs to be appointed.
Yes.
But it's a very strange phenomenon when I look at how the world is fashioned. That people are lobbying for to be appointed
in a position
to
of
come
power.
and do something they are failing to do before they're appointed. So I think we need modern leadership where people will lead by example. If you say you can create 1 million jobs, okay, create 10,000 first. Show us how you can create only 1,000 or even 100 only. But people they talk too much. That's what I can say.
Pastor Zwai, let me ask you this. Do you have one day a vision of running into economic, like, politics? Do you have a vision of rising into politics one day or something?
Well, my mandate is more divine mandate.
Wow.
I'm here representing the King of the universe, and he has given me a script to run with, which is mainly kingdom business of winning people to Christ, and in the process raising leaders. Being a politician, I don't think it's in line with what I came to do on earth, but I'm very passionate to equip people with knowledge and understanding that they can use to be political leaders who are changing our communities. We just need new kind of leaders, you know. So that's how I will be involved, by raising people to occupy. I mean, just like Joshua raised people to go and occupy. It's not about us. Yeah, it's about the people.
Now, tell me about M11 Foundation. I mean, you do so many works in terms of your foundation.
Yes.
Would you mind sharing us some of the works that you do as M11 Foundation?
Okay. Well, our foundation is I am one of them.
Yes, I'm one of them foundation.
It's actually open for everyone. We call it I'm one of them because you are one of us. It's for people who wants to see change. We do a lot of programs. We feed the poor.
Yes.
We sponsor groceries. We've been doing that for years. But we have noticed that as much as it's needed, it's time for us to take it to the next level, where now we will identify some of the community members in communities where we are going and put them in our programs where we will empower them financially and turn them into entrepreneurs who will participate in very key economic sectors like manufacturing and retail. I mean, those two are among the powerful engines that are moving the economy of the country. So that's what we do at I'm one of them. It's a foundation. It's no longer church as usual. I know pastors are still after growing their churches. Maybe that's their mandate. But for me, it's a bit different. I'm after tangible results.
Yes.
I'm after taking God's presence to the people. Many people have so disqualified themselves. They don't even want to go to church. They feel so unworthy.
Yes.
So my mandate is to go out there and qualify as many as I can. Every morning I want to qualify people. I want to show them that if the devil has qualified people for poverty, I will qualify you for millionaires without your efforts. But I just need commitment. Like I say, seriousness is the most expensive commodity. Just to be serious about what you are doing.
That's true.
Yes.
And
yes.
in terms of global franchise partnership, you assist people in terms of accessing funds
Yes.
from governmental institutions. As you say, people don't know, they write a business plan, then it's declined, and then the
Yes.
government institutions don't tell them why it was declined.
Yes.
You assist them in terms of writing tangible, solid proposals that the government will take. But I just don't want to talk about it on your behalf. I just
Yes,
want to
yes.
talk about what does global franchise partnership do,
Yes.
how you help people get, a random person like myself, get a franchise like your Magen Bean as we are in today.
Yes, yes. Global Franchise Partnership was born with a vision of helping mainly blacks to own franchise businesses. When I looked at the economy, how it functions, I realized that one of the most stable industries or businesses one can take a risk in is a franchise business. And black participation is so small. No wonder they are not controlling economy in a bigger way.
Yes.
So that is the vision that we carry as a company. There are many obstacles because many people don't have what we call unencumbered funds, own
Yes.
contribution. So through our hawker program, our tuck shop program, we have created platforms where someone can start small. Out of the money you make, we teach you how to save it in our programs where it will grow faster through the power of compounding. And later, you are able to raise your own contribution and own a franchise business. So we are so involved in your financial makeover. We want to create a mentality more than a bank balance.
Yes.
You see, mentality is what will make the bank balance to go up. But if you are after bank balance without changing how you reason, yeah, some of us were programmed wrong. We think money is for spending. I used to think like that. Yeah, when I get money, I want to spend. But no. Money is for multiplying and affecting other people's lives. That's what money is all about.
Now, just before we wrap up, I follow you a lot, especially on your social media.
Yes.
And I remember there was this time you purchased a number of real estate, residential estates.
Yes.
Why did you choose property out of so many investments? Why was property one of your main investments?
I think it's straightforward. It's called real estate. Over the years, I've done so many businesses.
Yes.
And many years later, after failing many times, the Lord one day showed me that the reason real estate is called real estate is because it's the only real estate,
Yes.
And when you think about it, you realize that real estate is one of the most consistent portfolio that many people who are serious about building wealth venture into. I have my own strategy in real estate of number one, being able to reduce the term of repaying a bond from 20 years to 7 years. And I have another strategy of maximizing, especially if I buy a property, to lease it out. I prefer overnight leasing instead of monthly leasing. That's my personal strategies, But real estate is something that you can always fall back on, because in business seasons change. But when you have real estate, you know that you are secure for the future. Yes, that's why I chose to have it in my portfolio.
Now, with so many investments that you're involved in, which investment would you say is the best investment that you can ever make, that you'd recommend?
Well, it's very tricky to say that, especially now. Market dynamics change drastically.
Yes.
I think the biggest discovery of our era is the cryptocurrency evolution. Many people have got different opinions about it, but if you know the history of money, knowing that at some point there was no paper money, people used to exchange goods. You would give me your phone, I would give you my laptop. And that old system had to be replaced by tangible things like gold and silver. and later paper money was introduced. And now we are in the cryptocurrency era. So whether we love it or not, that's where the world is.
Oh, wow.
So you might as well position yourself and have at least one coin. Buy yourself a coin, keep it, and see the value of that coin in the coming 5 years. So that's the little advice I can give you.
Oh, no, thank you so much. Now, the last question that I have from you, what do you have to say from your heart to anyone that's out there trying to make ends meet, or to those that are well established already? What advice would you have to anyone that's looking at this interview, that's inspired by your life, how you bounce back from after losing 118 million, how you bounce back? Someone that's watching this and say, you know what, I'm inspired by your story. Any words that you want to share with them?
Number one, don't take things personal. Losses are just learning experiences. One thing you must commit yourself to is not giving up. We all came to make an impact in this world. That's why all of us, we want to appear on TV. It's because we are all stars. Every single one. If you can interview 10 people in a squatter camp, 10 people in Santen, 10 people in the poorest of the poorest, one common denominator, everyone would like to appear on TV.
Yes.
It's because we know inside ourselves we are all stars. We came to offer something. Don't allow the earthly education system to disqualify you into believing that somehow you are dumb. There are no dumb people. The only thing, we have different ways of learning, because no two people can see life from the same window. It's impossible. So if you can just know that you are fully in control of your life, and through you deciding to be great, you can actually begin to be great from today.
And then electricity once is back. Thank you so much for your interview, Pastor Zwai. Even
Thank you
without
so much.
electricity, I'm glad that
Yes.
God honored us and electricity decided to run when we were done with our interview.
Yes.
Thank you so
yes.
much.
Thank you so
for
much.
your time.
Thank
It's a
you,
great
everyone.
honor to rub
To
shoulders with
everyone who's watching this, I love you guys.
Wow, thank you so much. Do subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. Do follow Pastor Zwai in terms of social media, Zwai Qwadikazi on all social media platforms. Thank you so much. Till we meet again.
Thank you.